What's the number one way to improve your bar exam scores and make the next bar exam your last bar exam? Well, in this upcoming video, I'm going to tell you what that secret is. I'm Jackson Mummy, the owner and founder of Celebration Bar Review, and for the past 25 years, I've helped thousands of bar takers, people just like you, to make their next bar exam the last bar exam. If you want to know more about how we do that, check out the links on this page after this video. Well, we've come to the end of our video series on tips and ways to improve your bar exam scores. And today we're talking about tip number 10, or really tip number 1, if you will, depending on how you're counting. In my mind, this is the most important. And I was thinking a little bit about what you might think the most important way to improve your bar score might be before I began to record today. Some people might think, well, he's going to say you just need to study harder. Well, that's important, and I think it is a good way to raise your scores, but I don't think it's everything, and I don't think it's the most important. And some other people might be thinking, well, he's got some great mnemonics device. Memorize some extraordinary amount of material using mnemonics or flashcards or outlines or gimmicks, and that'll improve your scores. I'm sorry, that's not it either. And some of you might be thinking, you should always answer letter C if you're stumped on a multiple choice question. No, sorry. And I know that really annoys some of you because you're like, just tell me what it is. All right, what is it? How can you improve your scores? Should you type them rather than handwrite them? Well, that would help. Should you take a particular seat in the exam? Should you take the test in a particular location in a state versus another one? No, not particularly. Well, what's going to improve your scores? Do you need to be smarter or more efficient or more effective or better? Nope. Here's really what's going to improve your scores the most. It's going to be the way you think it's going to happen on the exam. Let me say it a different way. If you expect to succeed on the exam, if you absolutely believe you're going to pass the exam, my experience has been you will pass the exam. If, on the other hand, what you believe is that you hope you'll pass the exam, or you want to pass but you're afraid you won't, or you think for sure you won't because you have not failed or you have not succeeded in the past, you are most likely to fail the bar exam again or to fail it for the first time. If you look at our website, we have people that say, I absolutely had to pass the bar exam in order to move on with my life. And notice that what we don't say on our website is, when you absolutely can't afford to fail, we guarantee you'll pass. You see, there are people who function in life on the theory that they can't afford to fail. These are the people that call us and say, I have to pass because I just can't afford to fail the exam. And failure is so much a part of their language, it's so much a part of their thought process, it's so much a part of the way that they approach the entire aspect of studying that they draw failure to them. Now, I know that there are people out there who will say, well, I've heard of that, that's the law of attraction, that's that new age stuff. But it's really more straightforward than that. The thing is that what you think about in life, the things you focus on, the expectations you bring into your life really are the things that happen in your life. If you've been planning to fail, whether consciously or non-consciously, the statistics tell us that you will fail. If you're convinced that you're not smart enough to pass the exam, unfortunately, you're probably right. You see, it's only when you believe that you're qualified to be a member of the bar, and when you believe that you deserve the opportunity to show those skills, that you then perform in a way that demonstrate just that ability. You'll study and you'll learn and you'll be able to provide the information that the examiners want in the way they want it. That's what your work and a good bar review course does when they combine together. Now, we're pretty good at bringing all of that together, but truthfully, it doesn't matter how good your bar review course is or how confident the teacher or the mentor is. If the student doesn't believe they can be successful, they simply will not. Well, some of you are probably saying to yourselves, well, he's just one of those positive thinking freaks. I'm a cynic. That's why I went to law school. That's how I did it. I'm tougher than all that. Okay, good enough. And then I think it's probably worthwhile to ask about the quality of your life. Are you really happy with what's going on? Are you happy with where you are today? Are you happy about the fact that you have to take the bar exam? And my guess is that the answer to most of those questions, if you answered honestly, would be, no, I'm probably not very happy. The person that comes to me and says, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm not thrilled that I have to take a bar exam, but I am excited that I'm going to learn something. I'm going to stretch myself. I'm going to come back to some things I haven't thought about in years, or I'm getting a chance to really evaluate my skill set. And here we go. And this is the gateway to all the things I want to do with the rest of my life. Well, that person actually does pretty well on the bar exam. regardless of whether they went to Harvard or Yale or University of Virginia, or they went to Billy Bob's School of Law and Barbecue Cooking over in California. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they went to school because that person truly embraces and engages the positive nature of the world, and they get the most out of everything they do, including their bar review. These are the individuals that learn how to adapt themselves to the exam that they're taking. They're open and receptive to the teaching that's provided. You know, when a student comes to me and says, oh, I don't really need that thing that you offer, and I don't need that, and don't bother me with those lectures, and I don't need the books, just give me the law, just teach me the law. Well, okay. I mean, I'm sure we'll do that, but you know what? It's not a good sign. And the reason it isn't is because when that person comes at the process and attacks process, what they're really saying is, I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid to succeed. I'm afraid to pass. And so I'm cutting off these other things because I hope I know better. And the truth is that while most people know better about a lot of things, very few of them know better about taking and passing the bar exam. So a lot of people approach taking the bar like they're walking through a minefield. They tiptoe, they try and get through it as quickly as they can, and they hope nothing explodes on them. It's an ugly and fairly graphic description of what happens every year to people. And it's really a horrible thing to watch. And then there are another group of people who, instead of picturing a minefield, picture a field of beautiful flowers and a great spring day and clear air and great skies and lovely grass. And they simply take their time and they walk through it and they enjoy it and they appreciate it and they drink it in. And the people who drink it in are the people who are teachable. And the people who are teachable have an expectation about the process that's so much more useful than the people who are rigid, non-conforming, and convinced that they know better. You know those people, the ones that are so convinced that they know exactly what they need to pass. Typically, those are the same people that don't do very well on the exam, and then they become hard-edged and bitter, angry at the bar examiners or their bar review or their law school or whatever it might be, and they become internet trolls. I've really found over the years there's almost no correlation between one's law school that they attended, their LSAT scores, their grades in law school. I know there are statistics and people say, oh yes, we have a less qualified group of applicants today. But you know, I work with a lot of those less qualified applicants and they all pass their bar. Why? Well, I don't think that these LSAT scores in law schools necessarily correlate to passing the bar exam. The reality is that if you were smart enough to get into any law school anywhere in the world, and smart enough to pass and get out of that law school anywhere in the world, if you've been qualified by the examiners to sit for the exam, you are smart enough to take the examination. This is not a test about your intelligence level. It is neither a test about your work ethic beyond certain norms. You see, most people couldn't have gotten into law school and out of law school or into practice and into taking this step without being reasonably hard workers. You see, the bar exam is not about tricks, it's not about gimmicks, it's not having about some secret inside edge. It's not about knowing the questions in advance. None of those things ultimately make a whole lot of difference. And I say this after 25 plus years and thousands of students that I've worked with. What ultimately is the greatest determinant, the number one way that you can improve your scores, is to believe and to accept the concept that as you think, that's what's going to be drawn to you. That's what's going to happen to you. So try this. For the next week, think about good things happening to you and not necessarily just about the bar exam or about any part of your life. Focus on the good things as much as possible. I know there'll be some moments when bad things creep in, but concentrate on the good things. And in a week's time, see if you haven't had a better week than the week before. And if you really want to be down in the dumps, then think about nothing but the bad things, the debts, the fear, the loss of job, the loss of your home, health problems, whatever it might be. Focus on those for just a day and see what a crappy day you have. When you come to the bar exam expecting to do well, you will do well. If you come to the bar exam expecting to do poorly or having to play emotional defense, planning to find a way not to fail, then you significantly reduce your chances of being successful. All the improvements I've talked about in this video series, all the ways of improving your scores, they're all valid and all of them can help, but none of them will overcome a bad negative attitude, not a single one. And anyone that tries to tell you that all you have to do is memorize and learn more, spit it all back out, learn all the laws, they're just fooling you. And there's no reason for you to do that. You see, if you change your mindset and your approach, Everything else will fall into line after that. And then you'll be able to make your next bar exam the last bar exam. Well, I've enjoyed spending these 10 video tips with you. I hope they've been helpful and useful for you. And if you'd like to know more about what we can do to help you, just check out this page below. And we look forward to seeing you on the pass list in the very near future. Bye-bye.